My faith is an integral part of everything I do. My business decisions, my personal decisions, just the way I carry myself, the way I treat people, the way I go about, my art. I realize that I've been given a platform that not everybody has, and that I can either use it or abuse it, and so I try to use it for good.
Welcome to Jesus Calling Stories of Faith, featuring Josh Turner, one of country music's most successful artists. The multi-platinum selling singer has a recent studio album entitled Deep South. Josh discusses how this album represents hardworking people who find joy in the simple things in life: heritage, church, and community.
There's quite a bit of variety on this record. Being a songwriter and being an artist, I have plenty of material and experiences from my childhood that I can draw from, creatively. The title track to me kind of sets the tone for the rest of the record, because it's a song that I wrote by myself, and it's about basically where I grew up and how, that upbringing made me who I am, and so it kind of encompasses a lot of who I am and what I experienced growing up in that culture and that environment, the ancestry and the heritage and the food and the sense of humor and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like nowadays that those are kind of things that people are kind of getting away from, especially the community aspect. Everybody's living their own individual lives. Everybody's going their different ways. They don't tend to rely on each other as much, for things. People don't want to impose, and not only that, but people don't really want to help each other out, as much as they used to. So I think community is definitely something that we need to get back to.
Not only is Josh a best-selling country music artist, he has also written a book called Man Stuff: Thoughts on Family, Faith, and Fatherhood. In this book, Josh shares fun and meaningful thoughts and personal stories ranging from his childhood years to today, and weaves in spiritual insight for men who want to be better dads, husbands, and men of God.
Writing Man Stuff was a lot of fun for me. It allowed me the opportunity to kind of sit back and just really kind of reflect back on my life and the things that make me who I am, and the things that I continue to draw upon, the experiences and the lessons and the advice and just the things that I've witnessed and the relationships that I have and have had with my grandparents and certain heroes of mine that may not be here anymore. It was great for me to be able to put all those stories down in a tangible form, not only to pass down to my children and grandchildren and fans and all of that, but to honor the people that I learned from and that I wrote about in the book. So it served a variety of purposes for me, but my ultimate goal was to impart wisdom and experience and knowledge upon my fans and my readers out there who hopefully will, learn a lot from my mistakes. I've had to learn a lot of hard lessons through this business, and my faith has gotten me through a lot of those tough times, trying times, and it's also gotten me through the good times. I've had a lot of good things thrown my way, and I tell people sometimes, blessings can be a burden sometimes too if you have too many of them. And you have to learn how to handle that success and handle all of the blessings that are thrown your way, because sometimes they can take a negative turn too if you don't know how to handle it. It's difficult to be a Christian regardless whether you're in the entertainment business or not. I feel like Christians are under attack more so than normal nowadays, and it's honestly, it makes me even more proud to be a person of faith, because I know that anytime you face some kind of opposition or resistance like that, it means that you're doing the right things, you're doing something good.
We'll be right back after this exciting message about CMA Fest, which you can watch on Wednesday, August 8th at 7 Central on ABC.
Are you ready? When
Wednesday, August 8th, the hottest country stars perform their newest hits. Carrie Underwood, Blake Shelton, Keith Urban, Chris Stapleton, Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, and one-of-a-kind rockin' duets. Thomas Rhett and Kelsey Ballerini host.
Let's get this started!
CMA Fest, Wednesday, August 8th, 8, 7 Central on ABC.
Welcome back to Jesus Calling Stories of Faith, featuring Josh Turner. As Josh talks openly about his faith to his fans and spreads encouragement to them through his songs, he himself finds encouragement through reading Jesus Calling and the writings of Sarah Young.
Sarah Young, I've never met her, but just in reading her words, I can really tell that she's really strong in her faith. She's been challenged in a variety of ways. She's experienced, I guess, for lack of a better word, of really spending quality one-on-one quiet time with the Lord, and so she hasn't let that fall by the wayside. She's used that and her experience as a tool and as a witness for people who may struggle with hearing from the Lord, that may struggle with finding time throughout their day to spend with Him. Because of her testimony and because of who she is, I think people they tend to listen more because this is somebody who's very genuine and has had a need to call on Him. The times that I've sat down and read it, the parts that I've really related to is the fact that, she's been knocked down by life, more than once, and I can totally relate to that. If you live long enough, life will knock you down, and I don't see how people, that don't have the Lord and don't have a relationship with the Lord, I don't see how they make it through, the day, and I know a lot of them don't. A lot of them are going through every day with a void and just with emptiness and unhappiness and a lack of peace and all of that, and I can't imagine living my days without that. I can really relate to her words and how it just, that time with the Lord just really brings a lot of restoration, a lot of peace, a lot of strength, and a lot of wisdom too. This would be January 2nd because I don't know, because of where I am in my life right now, I feel like this was pretty fitting, and it's short and sweet too. So, relax in my healing presence. As you spend time with me, your thoughts tend to jump ahead to today's plans and problems. Bring your mind back to me for refreshment and renewal. Let the light of my presence soak into you as you focus your thoughts on me. Thus I equip you to face whatever the day brings. This sacrifice of time pleases me and strengthens you. Do not skimp on our time together. Resist the clamor of tasks waiting to be done. You have chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from you. Psalms 105:4 says, "Look to the Lord and His strength. Seek His face always."
As Josh continues to grow musically and in his faith, he is eager to give back a little of what he's been given. He recently established the Josh Turner Scholarship Fund to provide assistance to high school students who would like to pursue a career in the field of arts and entertainment, but may not have the resources available to do so.
12 years ago now. It's hard to believe, but anybody that's ever done charity work knows that it's a long road to hoe, but when you start seeing people, impacted by that work, it becomes very gratifying. It basically is a fund that we set up for high school seniors that come from a rural, high school that don't necessarily have opportunities to be involved in music or art programs, but yet they want to pursue a career in music or art, and so it basically helps them monetarily go to the school of their choice and study music or art or whatever facet of those fields that they would want to study. And so we've had a good 5, 6, 7 students so far. It's been great to be able to provide students with opportunities that I didn't necessarily have myself.
To learn more about the Josh Turner Foundation and to find out about Josh's record, Deep South, please visit joshturner.com to get more information. Now stay tuned for a special segment about country music and faith.
I don't ever remember a time, and I credit my mother for this, more than any great thing she ever passed on to me or gave to me, She taught me to pray and know Jesus Christ when I was little.
And we grew up in a very rural setting. We had a little wooden church with a tin roof. And
The Amelia Baptist Church.
Yeah. Little shutters on the window, and more Sundays than not, a horse or a cow would come put their head in the window while the preacher was preaching.
I don't think I could have gotten through the plane crash, the divorce, all the changes in my life without the Lord, because that's that rock, that's the fortress that you lean upon when things go wrong, when things go bad.
I don't feel like things just happen. I think that there's a reason and a purpose for everything and God's plan.
And I believe that through God all things are possible. And I've proved a lot of that. I pray every day that God will lead me and guide me and direct me, and that He'll bring all the right things, all the right people into my life, take all the wrong things out.
God is very patient. He's just sitting there waiting on you till you come around. He's there, you know, He's been there all the time.
One of the best ways in the world to ever really get charged up is to be able to take that time in the morning. When I get up in the morning, when I open my eyes, I just say, Lord, thank you. I praise your name, Lord God. Somehow or another, some way today, Lord God, use me. Do something that you could do through me today. Just use me, Lord.
I read it every day. I read Jesus Calling every day, and my wife reads it every day. And I don't know how many copies we've given away. We keep them, give them away for Christmas, or get a couple of cases of them and pass them out to friends and people. But it's just part of my devotional every day.
And I pull out my devotional and read it for the day, and then I go to my Bible app on my phone and I always read a little bit of a passage, and it just kind of starts the whole day off on the right foot, and it's something that I can kind of go back to in my mind if I come across any hurdle or difficulty throughout the day, and kind of just remember, like, all right, like, stay grounded, like, God's got you in His hands.
What I love about Jesus Calling is that it's something I can rely on, especially to get me back into the groove of also getting my Bible back open. So I just think it's a great tool to be used alongside the Bible. And I know that I've talked with people about Jesus Calling, and it's a great gift to give people, to get them introduced to the Bible.
Relax in my healing presence. As you spend time with me, your thoughts tend to jump ahead to today's plans and problems. Bring your mind back to me for refreshment and renewal.
Jesus Calling, and then Jesus Always. I've got both of them. I don't remember who was the first one that gave me one, but there was like a time, must have been when it just first came out. Fans were giving me that book. My friends were giving me that book. And so I'd, open it up on the day and read. Now, how did that book know I needed that today?
I've been a fan of Sarah Young's for a long time. I enjoy her inspirational writing. I enjoy the way she portrays things from God's point of view in her writing, and how encouraging it is.
Let the light of my presence soak into you as you focus your thoughts on me. Thus I equip you to face whatever the day brings. This sacrifice of time pleases me and strengthens you.
How much the daily reading applies to something that's going on in your life at that time.
In the mornings, I get up, I do my little spiritual work. I read my little Jesus Calling book, all the little things that every day, where it's dated and everything. It means a lot to me, because sometimes I think God speaks to me through that little book.
Connecting with God and keeping that kind of as a part of my day-to-day routine is a part of something I do every morning, and Jesus Calling is actually a great example of that.
Trust me and refuse to worry, for I am your strength and song. Singing's what I'm about. He gives me the strength to sing, and that's all you can ask for.
Do not skimp on our time together. Resist the clamor of tasks waiting to be done. You have chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from you. Psalms 105:4 says, "Look to the Lord and His strength, seek His face always. I can really relate to her words and how, it just, that time with the Lord just really brings a lot of restoration, a lot of peace, a lot of strength, and a lot of wisdom too.
We're supposed to live in the moment and trust God for each day, and everything in His Word tells us to stop worrying and don't worry, don't fear, don't all those things. And the only way we're going to do that is if we're looking beyond where we're at.
So I've learned to say less and listen more, and just basically say, Lord, Thy will be done, and help me not just to say that, but help me to truly mean it. And that means letting go of whatever it is I'm worried about. Your will be done. I trust You.
I was in Las Vegas doing some shows, and couldn't be with the rest of my support group, so I sat alone in a hotel room. And one of the things I did was read the Jesus Calling. I actually have an app. I don't actually carry the book with me anymore. I have an app on my iPad, and it reminds me every morning. It comes up, Jesus Calling, kind of like you got a message from the Lord.
You know what it says about the faith of a mustard seed, and you can move mountains. And I certainly have that much faith.
Thank you for watching Jesus Calling Stories of Faith. Be sure to join us every first and third Sunday of each month for a new Jesus Calling Story of Faith, debuting live on the Jesus Calling Facebook page and also on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the Jesus Calling YouTube channel by going to jesuscalling.com/YouTube so you can be notified when a new story of faith is available.